isn't good lighting. I've been talking about stuff, not speaking out loud, and not speaking out loud about it, and making a video requires me to speak out loud about things, so I, just realized how not comfortable I am with that. Oh, fun! But yeah, so talking about, empath stuff and the way that, other people's experiences seep into my consciousness, and, just like those little, hey, evidence, you really can't know me for a long time and deny, that there's something going on, because it's just dude, so obvious. Get out of my head, Mindy, right? I know. And I don't want to be in there either. That's the thing. I don't want to be in there, and I don't have control over it. I used to have control over it. I don't have control over it anymore. I'm a huge, open thing, and everyone else is a huge open thing, and, ugh. But yeah, I started talking about, I was talking about that stuff. I was typing about it, and, I just feel really uncomfortable right now, and, I wanted to talk about that because when I start to talk about reasons that I'm psychic, not psychotic, that I'm gifted, not, demented, and ill, I get, shaky. I get shaky, and I get sweaty, and, it feels like me talking about that is putting a target on my back, and that there's eyes on me now. What is going on here? We're not supposed to know that, little human. Not supposed to know that. What are you doing with that information there? I might just have to pluck it out of your brain! And, that's what it's like. That's what it's like. So, there's been so many times that I, post my, being, on Thorazine regularly, which Thorazine is is an psychotic drug. It's an old one. It's tried and true. It'll lobotomize you. And it's like chemical lobotomy. But, so it's been happening that I talk about those things, and, I feel whoa, I am in the zone, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna, get up and do, or I'm just gonna, be present, and I'm gonna meditate and, connect to my pool of love, which I don't know if you've ever been present for any of my meditations, where there's just, the pool of love and sensing each other's vibrations and stuff, that's, my love and light, it's a whole thing that I do, but, yeah, it's, that, talking about those things and feeling comfortable and just, reasserting, having my voice, my words, if I'm typing, say those things, it's oh yeah, this isn't scary. This is this is great. This is great that we live in a world that I can talk about these things and it makes sense, and, empath isn't this, weird esoteric, occult word anymore. People know what that means at this point, I think, for the most part. And, yeah, so I'll start to feel really on and in the zone, and as soon as I get in the zone, start feeling good, like really good. Like probably like they would want to be like, oh, getting manic, but like no, it's not getting manic. It's just starting to feel like a normal functioning person, and I'm really happy about that. But like it's just like a switch is thrown, and I'll go from being like, yeah, present, to just like, psh, and I like nod like a narcotic addict. Like it is ridiculous. And that's what it looks like. That's what it presents as. I just like whoop, fade off, and like come back, and it's like I had thoughts. I definitely had thoughts and intentions and motivations, and now it's just like they're like gone. And like I'm not able to talk about it anymore. I mean, like I can talk about it, like I'm talking now, right? Yeah, I'm talking now. But I'm not like this isn't like the non-written, not premeditated, just like speaking coherently, concisely, clearly. Like I used to be a fantastic orator, and now it's just like this is a mess. This is a mess. So like where I'm like yeah, I can still talk about it. I feel cold and shaky and sweaty, and like I'm being watched and like sort of terrified, but look, I also just acknowledge that, like, because, like, just because I feel eyes on me doesn't mean they're evil eyes. Like, just because I feel presence doesn't mean they're bad presence. And I've definitely opened myself up to being in view in the company, seeing, experiencing spirit guides. It's been a long time since I've seen them, and I miss them. You know, like, you think, like, if you hear voices, like, and you see things, like, you think you don't want to experience that anymore. I know for me, I like went to bed every night and was just like, I just don't want to. I don't want to see things. I don't want to hear things. I don't want to know things. Well, that I guess got through the domino process of creating your own reality eventually, because now I'm like dumb, but you know, I thought that I didn't want that. But the thing is, like, even though I don't see and hear, I don't see entities, I don't see, like, ghosts or demons or shadows or things, and I don't hear voices, usually, almost always. Like, I very rarely hear a distinct voice. All the voices are mine. This all my voices. I have so many voices. You just have no idea. It's just so easy. Like, everything kind of sounds like me. I can kind of sound like everything. So, yeah. I don't really hear distinct voices anymore. It's just, I'm not trying to be entertaining. But I am entertained by me. I'm not trying to hear, like, I'm not, yeah, fuck, what, oh, yeah, I don't, like, hear voices anymore. Like, I just get, like, feels. Like, it feels like something's here, and for me, like, it's a lot more frustrating to be like, it's like there's a message trying to come through, but I can't go check that email. Like, I don't have that email anymore, but I know that there's something trying to come through, and that's really frustrating. Because I definitely have been gifted or blessed with other entities, other consciousness or consciousness communicating directly with me, and really helping me out. I've had so much like psychic guidance to get through this life. It's not even funny. And you know, now to guide myself, I rely on those coincidences. It's just not coincidences, they're synchronicities. And synchronicities are really freaky. Like, oh, I was just thinking about that, and now someone is talking about exactly what I was thinking about. Like, oh, I had this idea, and now it's walking down the runway. It's like, it's a little maddening. It's a little maddening, but, you know, I use those to be like signposts, like being like you're on the right track, like you're like right in line with the flow of creation. If you're thinking, if you're thinking of something, if you have an idea, you have a thought, especially novel thought, and not like like something that you think repetitively. So also, like, don't apply this to negativity. Just don't, cause like you obviously, like, if you're like, oh, I think that I'm this, or like I thought that I looked really bad, and then someone insulted me in the street. Like, don't. I mean, don't buy in. Don't buy into that. Um, I think that we need to look to the parts, especially we need to look especially to the parts that are as closest to immediate creations, manifestations of our intended creation. We need to look to the most immediate parts of our manifestation that reflect the the most clear intention. So it's really easy to see. It's easier. I think it's easier to see negative things. Like, I can immediately affect my reality in my mind and to produce negative fear and anxiety. Those thoughts feed into the reality hologram matrix and spit out results very quickly, very easy to be seen. And then to have the purity of thought creating with love and not fear, and look out in the world and see, oh, like that, like I just had that thought and there it is reflected to me, like I just take that as a sign that I'm like on the straight and narrow, I'm on my path. And of course, the thing with like being on your path, like, is just it's just the path. It's just being centered on the path. So of course you're going to be seeing things that that you're that you've contributed to subconsciously or unconsciously. Just kind of think of it like you're always giving your money to GoFundMe or Kickstarters, and not always coming across them, but sometimes you are, and it's like, oh, like, how good do you feel when you gave $5, something you wanted to see, and then there it is. It's like, yeah, like, that's what you're doing, like, when you're loving life, when you're loving reality, when you are ultimately, firstly, foremostly loving yourself. You've got to love yourself. And yeah, so create with love, not fear, and whatever's going on with this, where it feels like it feels like something outside of myself, like a frequency or a tone, like when you like ring like a dog bell or a dog whistle or something, like only I'm affected by it because that programming has been put in place, that crystalline structure has been created by the chemicals I've been suggested to suppress my psychic ability and make it into nothing but psychosis, because it really does. Just like psychic to psycho, those very 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 thin line. So in conclusion, I feel better. I feel better that I didn't see. I'm doing this, like, I was like, oh god, like, it feels like things are on me, and like I feel like I'm a target, and like I shouldn't. And even though I felt all those things, even though I felt fear, even though I'm like sweating and like kind of like freaked out that I'm doing this right now, like I'm kind of freaked out, like I am still acting not out of fear but out of love, because I think that this is mine is a perspective that does help people to approach problems, situations, their lives, their loved ones' struggles, like whatever, like I've, I just like this is how to transform that fear into love. Like I could have sat here and just like typed or drawn to myself my crazy thoughts or whatever, but instead I shared my crazy thoughts with you, so you can be crazy too. Oh, they say misery loves company, but it's just not so much as crazy does. Crazy loves company more than misery does. Yeah, so I've been weird. And I am weird and feeling like much more like hello, like it cannot be ignored. I have now broadcast my love and light. I might as well sit in it and enjoy it and just blast through that nega shell that's over our orb, because that's what it does, and that's why there's a target, because just sitting here in love and light, I am a beam, like a laser blasting weapon that is destroying the energetic parasites which feed on the vibration of fear, and that's why they generate it in humans. So don't feed the parasites! I love you all. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day.